Hello, friends. So this is like, I don't know, maybe 5,000 of you saw the first movie I made of this first map. Oh, more than that, because during COVID, a lot of people saw it too, to learn how to make their maps for their families. So I did a little false doctrine in it. And you guys, so here's the thing. Like the church has like these big committees and they're all making sure that nobody teaches false doctrine. And me, it's just little old me and my scriptures and my computer. And so I'm totally gonna make mistakes. And if you guys like write me and tell me in your text and your message, you're always so nice to me. But if you write me and you're just like, oh, Crystal, you messed up here. I am seriously not like, oh my heck, they're so mean. No, I don't think that. I don't at all. I totally am just like so grateful. And I'll tell you what I think in my head and in my heart. I think, oh, thank you, my little guinea pigs, because you guys are like my little lab rats and I'm experimenting on you. And I think that's fair. I think if you get to tell me what I'm doing wrong, I should be able to call you my guinea pigs. My guinea pigs. I'll call you pegs too. But I'll call you whatever I want to call you. But yeah, so I just hope that we understand we're all just kind of learning together in this. And it's okay if we're making mistakes, and it's okay if you, and when teaching this math, it's okay if you don't teach like me. You guys all pray, you all read your scriptures, you all figure out the doctrine. If I'm teaching a false doctrine, please just kind of ignore that and just read your scriptures and teach it right to your kids. So hopefully I don't do anything wrong, because I don't want to make another movie and I don't want to make another map. So, and also there's going to be more movies after this, like back during COVID when I first did this, I made movies and so don't throw this map away. Don't throw this map away. Don't throw this map away. Okay, I think we got that down, because you're gonna keep using it throughout like a month or two, or guys, I'm not really sure. I gotta go look at my old lessons. But you're just gonna keep adding to it. And by the end, so like something like this is my son's science board. Don't tell him. He's going to International Science Fair and it's kind of important to him, but he never has to find out, right? And so, but something like this would be really good, is if you can just like get a board that you can create the map on and take it home with you and bring your new pieces to your class and be like, let's build onto this map and make it bigger and understand the story together. But you guys, I never even understood this story until I really understood it until I had to study enough to draw it and figure out this map. And when you see it all, it's just amazing. When it's all done and you've stuck through it and you've gotten all your pieces and you see the whole story, it's just amazing. Your understanding is so enlightening, and I think it might mean it's the Spirit too. So it's just wonderful that we can understand these scriptures so much more when we can see them. So I'm going to start with this one, and this is a new piece, and it's all in one piece because we're trying to we all know this. We know that they came over on a boat, and then they got here, and lots of things happened on this one puzzle. But we're just going to skip right to when Nephi leaves the promised land and leaves Laman and Lemuel and his family here, because the Lord told him his brothers were going to kill him, so he had to leave, right? So he takes off out of this promised land, and they go to the land of Nephi. Where are you, land of Nephi? Here you are. Okay, and in the scriptures, this land of Nephi is like a beautiful land, and they name it after Nephi, who delivered them. Now, this tiny little area, you're going to pretend it's like hundreds and hundreds of miles, because sometimes maps do that, and this map is going to vary because I can do that because I created it. And when you create things, you can make it any way you want. So here we go. Here is the land of Nephi. I hope you guys can see that. It's kind of small. Well, I'll keep bringing puzzle pieces to you so we don't get lost. Okay, so here they settled in the land of Nephi. Now they're in the land of Nephi and things are going really good, and Nephi dies, and there's Jacob and Enos and Omni, and then there's this, and so like Jacob is his brother, and then Enos prays in the woods, who is Jacob's son. We're going on. You guys don't have to cover all this. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the doctrine right so I don't have to make another movie. Anyway, and in Omni, there is a Mosiah, King Mosiah. And he's like, he gets commanded by the Lord, and there's a scripture right there. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can read that scripture to your kids, and they take, and he says, you got to leave the land of Nephi. So he just follows the counsel of the Lord and leaves the land of Nephi like he was told to. So now everybody who does not go with Mosiah into this land of Zarahemla, I'll show you this right here. They're all going to this land of Zarahemla right here. And anybody who does not go with him, who stays back in this land of Nephi, now join the ranks of the Lamanites. So we have the Lamanites here and we have the Lamanites here. So we have two sets of Lamanites. And lots of Lamanites everywhere. So, and the Nephites come up here and they're in the land of Zarahemla. Okay, so Mosiah, like I said, Mosiah 1, because he's the first Mosiah king. He comes up here and he's like, I think we should send somebody down. I think we should spy on those Lamanites down there and see if they're planning, I don't know, maybe, I'm off to teaching more false doctrine. I was about to say, maybe they're planning a war against us. I like to get exciting. But you guys study your scriptures and you teach it. See how I did that? No more making new movies for me. We're just, you guys are on your own. This is on you. You've got to get this right. So, but I do know that he sends Mosiah for some other reason or whatever. He says, let's send some people down to the land of, back to the land of Nephi. Where am I? 7, where are you, 7? Okay, and in that group of people, he sends down the spies, I'm going to call them. There's a man named Zeniff. Can you see Zeniff right there? And he's like, oh, I really like that land of Nephi. And he just really, and they said in the scripture, he's just overzealous to go back to the land of Nephi, maybe using some kind of leery judgment. And he's like, I just want to go back there so bad. And so he takes his people, these spies, and he's watching them. And I picture like these like children playing with each other. And he sees like the best side of them. Kind of like if we're watching somebody on social media, they're only going to show their best side, right? And so he's just like, oh, they don't look so bad to me. And I think we can go get some of that land. I think we can go talk to the king. And here he is talking to the king right here. There's a picture of him talking to the king. And he's like, hey, let's make a deal. You give us some land. We won't bother you. You won't bother us. And we can still live in this beautiful land of Nephi. And the king's like, sure thing, buddy. And then guess what happens? Yep. He takes him prisoner. Totally tricks him and takes him prisoner. And now they have to work for the king. And they have to work for the Lamanites and give all their food and all their substance to the not all of it. I gotta be careful with what I say. How many thousands of you are watching and judging what I say? They have to give some of their food, and a lot of they're being taxed, a really high tax, pretty much slaves. And so they're in this bondage, and he's like, yeah, they're totally in bondage. So Mosiah 1 dies, and he has a son, and his son is the famous, notorious King Benjamin. And so King Benjamin is up here in Zarahemla, teaching on his tower, and then King Benjamin dies. And he names his son Mosiah, just to confuse us, or because he loved his dad. So he names his second son Mosiah. And here's Mosiah right here. And he's like, hey, whatever happened to those people that went off, those spies that my grandpa set down to see what's going on? And he's like, let's go try to find them. So he sent Ammon, you guys. He is not the Ammon that cut off the arms. This is a different Ammon. You know, they just name each other after each other, and they're just have all these names that go down in history, and just to confuse us, right? So here's this Ammon, and he's like, we're going to send this Ammon down with 16 men. I didn't draw 16 men, but I drew an Ammon for you. And he's like, do, 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 all the way out here. And he's like, and then Limhi, oh, you guys, this is my best art ever. It's like having an ugly child that you're just not even proud of. But anyway, this is King Limhi. Don't look too close. But he is, okay, so King Zeniff actually lives a pretty good life. And he thinks that he got his his people in the land of Nephi, and he thinks he's just the hero of the day, got everybody in the land of Nephi. But it's the next generation. It's the next generation that suffers from his terrible choices. And if you're teaching the youth this lesson, that would be something you could really look at. How their choices right now are not just affecting them, but their children and their generations to come. So along comes Limhi, and he's the son. Oh, guys, he is the son of Zeniff, and he's just hanging out here in the land of Nephi. And along comes Ammon, and you guys, you can't fault him. He takes Ammon and he puts him in prison because his people are being persecuted. He has to protect his people, and he just wants to keep them safe, right? So he takes Ammon and puts him in prison, and then finally Ammon gets to talk. And he's like, if you knew who I was, you wouldn't put me in prison. I've come from this land of Zarahemla, and I've come to help you. And he's like, oh my goodness. Yeah, loose his bands. Let's. And he was just so happy to see Ammon. And then Ammon tells him, oh no, King Limhi's like, okay, guess what? We tried to find you. We were in so much trouble, and I sent some men out to go look for you. And my daughter's calling. I'm hanging up on her. And I sent some men to come out and find you. And he's like, and we went the wrong way. And here we went to this land, right here, and we found these. It's a deserted land. So love my art. You gotta love my art. And he's like, but we found these golden plates. And he's like, and we don't know what they say. And that's when Ammon teaches him. And he teaches him about, hey, guess what? We have a prophet. We have a seer that can see things that we can't see. He could see. And we have a revelators, and we have all these things. And the king just rejoices. And he rejoices that he teaches him all this gospel. And you got to stay tuned, because they eventually find a way to escape. And you guys, as you teach this puzzle, so that's the end of that. And when you make sure you bear your testimony, make sure you teach in your own teaching style, in your own fashion. Make sure you're praying and finding inspiration and studying the scriptures for yourself so you can teach it your own way. But yeah, do not throw this puzzle away. I'm saying it again. Do not throw it away, because we're going to keep adding to this. And the last time I taught this was in COVID. And it was just this cute little community of moms that would write back and show me how their puzzle was growing in their homes with their children, because we couldn't go to church. And I'm just so excited that we get to do this in church now, and we get to teach our children this. When it's all done, it's just beautiful, guys. It's just a wonderful testimony. And I guess that's my testimony. So you take care, you beautiful teachers and spreaders of the gospel and missionaries and all you wonderful people. And I love you all. And that's it.